Okay, the other night, I don't know, was anybody at the party last night?
Yeah.
Okay, we had some technical problems, maybe you all noticed. And a lot of guys would get really upset at that point. And a lot of my contemporaries, guys who are on my level, they would get very upset at that, and they would just not play. They would blame the promoter, they would blame the engineer, they would blame somebody, but they would leave, or they wouldn't play anymore. They would play their energy would be gone. They wouldn't want to play anymore. We found that we had to get around it, right? Fuck it. Things happen, shit happens. So we got around it. So I couldn't play my vinyls. I couldn't play any vinyl. I played maybe 6 vinyl records. That was it. I went straight to CDs. So for the next 4 hours or whatever it was all the CDs I had. Every single CD that I had, I played. I think I had 2 CDs left when I finished. That was it. You know, one of those CDs was my daughter's television show, SpongeBob. I like what I play. I stay a fan of the music because I don't listen to it every day. So I tend to be very confident with my choice. I tend to believe that I'm listening to records that are absolutely exciting, not just to me, but other people will like them too. But there was a couple guys playing here or somewhere, and they just seemed bored with doing it. It's because these guys have put themselves in a position where it's work. When you make this work, it is boring. You can't make this work. This is an art. You have to treat it like an art. You have to really honestly, you have to go as far in, and then you have to be able to come out, you know, and take a break. Otherwise, it will become work. If you want to do this, if you're serious about doing this, you cannot make this work. You have to hit it. You have to approach it as an art. If you find this to be work, then you're in the wrong business. I never drank. I never smoked. I still today have never done drugs. Never even smoked a joint. So I'm going to be 50 years old in 2 years. So anyway, all my life I'm getting laughed at. You know, you don't smoke weed. You don't drink. You're a square. You're a lame motherfucker. Girls, you know, cute girls, nice ones, laughing at my ass. And I'm that guy, you know, that you see in one of those stupid television shows where he walks off by himself. You know, he's getting kicked up the ass. That's me. Anyway, I never did those things, and I never had anything against people that did them. But my mother always taught me a very simple thing: simply believe in yourself. It's a hard thing to believe as a kid. You know, you're a kid. It's tough to be a kid, especially a teenager. And it just was something that my mother instilled upon me. All my life I lived that way. So I focused. I just simply stay focused. I never lose focus. I just don't. I don't do it. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm never out of focus.
No, we know we're asking. It's not.
I'm not out of focus.
There's not right and wrong. I think.
I'm not out of focus.
Was there a certain moment that you understood that this is something that you could be doing for 30 years almost?
I didn't want to do this. I mean, I didn't. I really didn't. No. Listen, there's a guy that was one of my teachers in this business when I was a young kid. His name is Ken Collier. And at the time, I think Ken was like 35 years old. I'm like maybe 18 or 19. And I'm playing sports. I'm going to go to college to play sports and run track and all this stupid shit. So anyway, this is my dream, right? So anyway, I'm looking at this guy, and I'm saying to myself, he's 35 years old, man, and he's still playing records. What a fucking dork. What a jerk. You know, oh, that's so disgusting. What kind of idiot is playing records at 35 years old? He's so old. You know, you're 18. 35 is just old, man. That's an old dude, you know what I mean? His dick's gonna fall off. He's old. So, you know. And I just never imagined that I would be this age doing this. But time flies when you're having fun. So if you have it, you have it, right? If you don't, then you need to get out, because you're simply standing in somebody else's space. On the other side, as far as young producers are concerned, yeah, man, that's always exciting, that there's people coming along making music. That's always going to be the most important part of the music. If you don't have that, you don't have the music. To sit up and talk about what I did or what Juan Atkins did or Mike Banks did is great. That's history. That's beautiful stuff. But the legacy of where it goes now is what we're doing here today. You know, that's why we're here, to talk about how the music gets better, how the music is stronger, and how you can get your music where you want it. That's really what it's all about. To be honest with you, walking around Tel Aviv, I've been here 6 or 7 times. I've been coming here for the last 10 years. You know, I know your city, not really well, but I know it. And I feel very comfortable here. I have good friends here. But to walk around Tel Aviv, it's more going on here than it is in Detroit. The infrastructure of Tel Aviv is what it is, such as Detroit. We don't need to get into that. But the cities are very similar. Very similar, more than you might realize. You have more activity, you have more restaurants and cafes, but the energy, the overall energy of contact between people, friendly, eye to eye, you know, there's a connection. That's very Detroit. People are like that in Detroit all the time. But as far as why the music goes on there, I think it's because it's the only thing we have. You know, that's it. I can't give you another reason. Those guys love this music more than anything in the world. I mean, I am serious. They're like a bunch of Jedi Knights sitting around talking about the rebellion. You know, they are fucking serious. You know, I mean, you know, it is no joke. You come to Detroit and you start talking bad about techno music, you know, hey, you, come here. And every single time I come, people are wonderful to me. I have the best time. I can't say anything but positive things. I'm very sad that some of my constituents won't come. You know, some of the guys I know are afraid to come. I understand that. The media, the whole, you know, the whole theatrics of that, that's business and on another level, and people are frightened by that, and I get it. That's a reality that a lot of people have to face. That's their own personal reality. They have to get over that. But maybe one day they'll come and they'll see for themselves. But in the meantime, you can expect for me to come back. This is the sort of way I've always told all the guys that I've taught this business. I've said, you cannot do both at the same time. You cannot be a DJ and be a musician. You cannot do it because there's too much conflict. You end up making music that you play. And that's not your music. That's a formula. That's a cookbook recipe, you know? But that's not what you should be doing. You cannot make music and play it at the same fucking time. You cannot do it. You subconsciously have this other shit in your head. You're making a record based on this thing you're doing. You have to completely disconnect from that to do this. Then you can go back to that. Focusing and locking in on your thing only. Now, if you want to make a record that sounds like somebody else's record, or if you want to make a record that has a particular formula, or if you feel like I want to make a great record that's really kicking that record in the ass, that's a different thing. But if you truly want to come out of an artist bag, a real artist bag, then you have to pull out. You have to pull back, close the door, pull down the shades, spend about 1 month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, focused. That's my opinion.
What's better, to try to have like an online presence, like to have some songs out, some, I don't know, collaborations or whatever, or try to go where it happens, whether it's Detroit or New York or physically?
Yeah, you know what? That's such a good question. I think it's important to stay where you are. Okay. Because everybody is running to Berlin. That was a big mistake. People ran here, ran there, ran to London 20 years ago, ran to Berlin 5 years ago. And half those people made the biggest mistake of their life. They didn't recover from running somewhere to go jump on a music scene. Stay where you are, make your own scene. Unite with your crew and make it happen. Fight the good fight. You know? I actually went to the fucking club, okay, for one of the few times to do kind of a sound check, and everything went wrong. But I never do a sound check, and everything is perfect. Now what the fuck is that? Okay? Anyway, that's my approach is I don't practice, number one. Number two, when I play, it's just a mixer and turntables and 2 CD players. I don't use any software. I don't use any sort of gadgets. Sometimes if I'm using the Pioneer mixer, I'm using the FX. But most times I'm using the 1000 Pioneer mixer. It's one that I designed with Roger Sanchez and Francois Kevorkian. We designed it together for Pioneer. So I'm using that mixer. It's a big, ugly-looking mixer, but it's great. But it's just a mixer. It's just, there's no effects. There's nothing special. It's just you and the mixer. That's it.
מחיאות כפיים לדריק מיי.